Hey, first graders, you'll need your reading book with the rabbits on the front today. And this is a super exciting day because we are beginning our very last theme in our first grade reading book. This is theme 10 called We Can Do It. What does we can do it mean? It means no matter what happens, we can learn and we can do it. Let's look at this little poem. A year later. Last summer, I couldn't swim at all. I couldn't even float. I had to use a rubber tube or hang on to a boat. I had to sit on shore while everybody swam. But now it's this summer and I can. That's a cute little poem by Mary Ann Hoberman. Listen, guys, you can learn anything. You can do it. All of the stories in this theme will talk about people who learned that they can do it. This time, we will be reading a story about some bears. We're beginning on page 140 today. Let's see what this says about the thirsty bears. Read the next story to find out what happens to two bear cubs who want the same piece of cheese. When a sly fox comes by, the bears learn a lesson. What lesson do you think they will learn? This is a fantasy story. That means it's not real. It could not happen in real life. I want you to figure out how we know that. Let's look at this week's words to know. You should know these already because we've been practicing in our other videos. Just quickly try to read them with me. Ready? Began, burst, laugh, turning, sure, more, head, morning, divide, her, second, other, break, water, thirsty, better, and thirstier. If you had trouble with those words, pause the video and practice them before moving on. If you know those words, you are ready for your practice sentences. Look at number 1. One bear was thirsty. Number 2. The other bear was thirstier. Number 3. The second bear drank more and more water. Number 4, the first bear began to laugh. Number 5, you are going to burst, she said. Number 6, you'd better stop drinking. Number 7, turning her head, the second bear said, I am hungry. Number 8, we can divide this food if we break it in 2. Number 9, sure, said the first bear. And number 10, we can do that in the morning. Pause the video and read those sentences by yourself. Then come back and let's read the story. All right, before we start our story, let's talk about the author. Do you remember what an author is? An author is the person who writes the story. So this is the author of today's story. Her name is Myra Ginsburg. It says when she was young, Myra Ginsburg's parents taught her to love books. Now she is an author and has written more than 30 books. Some of her favorite things are folktales, poetry, and very old music. And there she is, our author for the day. All right, the title of our story is Two Greedy Bears. Remember, greedy means selfish. They want everything for themselves. Let's look at our strategy focus. What do you think two greedy bear cubs will do when they find one piece of cheese? Read the story to find out. Also remember to figure out how we know this is a fantasy story. The story begins on page 144. Two bear cubs went out to see the world. They walked and walked till they came to a brook. "I'm thirsty," said one. "I'm thirstier," said the other. They put their heads down to the water and drank. "You had more," cried one, and drank some more. "Now you had more," cried the other, and drank some more. They're already fighting, and it's just the beginning of the story. And so they drank, and their stomachs got bigger and bigger till a frog peeked out of the water and laughed. Look at their bellies. Look at those pot-bellied bear cubs. If they drink any more, they'll burst. They're sick from drinking so much, but they still want to beat each other. The bear cubs sat down on the grass and looked at their stomachs. "I have a stomach ache," one cried. "I have a bigger one," cried the other. They cried and cried till they fell asleep. Silly bears. In the morning, they woke up feeling better and continued their journey. "I am hungry," said one. "Uh-oh." "I am hungrier," said the other. And suddenly, they saw a big round cheese lying by the roadside. They wanted to divide it, but they did not know how to break it into equal parts. Each was afraid the other would get the bigger piece. See how selfish and greedy they're being? They argued and they growled and they began to fight till a fox came by. "What are you arguing about?" the sly one asked the bear cubs. Sly means kind of smart and tricky. Remember that. "We don't know how to divide the cheese so that we'll both get equal parts." "That's easy," she said. "I'll help you." Do you think she will help them? Let's find out. She took the cheese and broke it in two. But she made sure that one piece was bigger than the other. And the bear cubs cried, "That one is bigger!" What do you think the fox is trying to do? "Don't worry, I know what to do." And she took a big bite out of the larger piece. "Now that one's bigger." The fox is getting lots of cheese. She is tricking them. "Have patience." And she took a bite out of the second piece. "Now this one is bigger." Still fighting. Wait, the fox said with her mouth full of cheese. "In just a moment, they'll be equal." She took another bite, and then another. And the bears kept turning their black noses from the bigger piece to the smaller one, from the smaller one to the bigger one. "Now this one's bigger. Now that one's bigger." And the fox kept on dividing and dividing the cheese till she could eat no more. "And now, good appetite to you, my friends." She flicked her tail and stalked away. She tricked the bears because they were being so greedy. She ate almost all their cheese and pretended she was trying to make even pieces. By then, all that was left of the big round cheese were 2 tiny crumbs. But they were equal. Do the bears look happy? No. All right, real quickly, let's look at the illustrators. Do you remember what an illustrator is? An illustrator is the person, or in this case, people, who drew and colored the pictures. There's two of them here, Jose Araguo and Ariane Dewey. Jose and Ariane are a team, so they work together. They have worked together on more than 65 books. Jose draws the lines, and Ariane fills them with color. And there they are. All right, one last thing. Let's look at the questions. I am not going to tell you the answers today. I want you to think about this on your own. Think about the story. Number 1. What did the two bears learn about solving problems? Think about it. What did they learn? Number 2. What might the bears have done if the fox had not come by? Good question. And last, number 3. What would you do if you and a friend found one thing that you both wanted? I hope you have a better solution than the greedy bears. Don't be greedy. Get your work done today. Make sure you read this story with expression several times until you're an expert. Happy reading, first graders. Bye-bye.